boy, have I got something really special for you. We just did an episode where we had Ali Spagnola and Bill from Punished Props, and we built the Licorice Dispenser from Wayne's World. It was incredible. We had a lot of fun. But along with the fun, Bill gave Ali a custom Fusion 360 tutorial. Bill's got his own Fusion 360 course on his website, and I, of course, will link it below, but I recorded this tutorial. It's amazing how simple things can be when explained to you in the way that Bill does. And so here it is, uncut, unedited, a full Fusion 360 tutorial on how the parts for the Licorice Dispenser in Ali Spagnola's car were made.
So we're going to model the parts for the Mirthmobile's Licorice Dispenser, or Red Vine Dispenser. We have some parts laid out here. We figured out some rough drawings, and I'm going to show Ali how to 3D model that in Fusion 360. I 3D model props in Fusion 360. I even have a course on it over at punishedprops.com if you want to check that out. You're getting the in-person class.
This is awesome.
We'll start with some of the simple parts. So for example, this center column here, it's basically a cylinder top of there. So we'll do all of that first. And so I'll like show you how to do that. And then you could start with something simple like these rollers.
Cool.
That use a lot of the same operations.
A mini center support.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So the basic components here, a lot of cylinders, right? So we can even just start by making a cylinder. That's what we'll do. I'm going to create a cylinder. We'll put it right in the middle on this plane. And then this is, you set the center and then drag it out. And then that dimension is what we got right there. So the outer dimension, 183 millimeters. We just type that in, 3 millimeters like that. And then be the diameter. And then the thickness of it, so this is the part that's going to rest under our dome. And if we look at the image, it's not very thick. It's maybe 1/8 of an inch thick, maybe like 3 millimeters, this part right here. So that'll be the thickness. We just say 3. There we go. So that's basically the base plate. And then it's going to have this big old honking cylinder coming up out of the middle of it. So we'll do the same thing. Create cylinder, and that'll go on top of this one, and again in the middle.
And it snaps to dead center?
It does, yeah.
Cool.
There's a lot of like niceties in Fusion like that. So that's this whole thing right here. But I think we're going to do it in 2 stages. We'll build this one that's going to have the thread in it, and then we'll put another one on top of it there.
Okay.
So we decided the diameter was, I didn't write it down. Oh no. I wrote that wrong. 20 millimeters outer diameter. So that's what this is going to be. And then we'll make this just the thickness that's going to be the thread.
Okay.
Which was, let's say, another 20 millimeters. And then we get to drill a hole in there and put threads on it, which is super, super fun. I like making threads. I don't know why. Threads just intrigue me.
You know, draw on lines and then pull.
No, there's seriously just a thread tool. You just go, put a thread there.
Wow.
Here's what it is. But we'll make a hole first. So another cylinder on here. And again, it just snaps to the middle. And this is going to be for a 1/4-20 screw, which is about 6 millimeters. So we're going to just say it's 6 millimeters in diameter.
You just have that in your brain? You knew that?
Yeah, I do a lot of metric imperial conversions.
Wow.
Because America is
Hold on, I think
backwards.
it's at 5. You wanted to go up 1.
So this is actually going to go down into it.
Oh,
so
that's
we
the
actually
height.
get to drill a hole down. And we can tell it a distance, or I can just click on this plane that we made before and it drops it right down there for us.
Cool.
Then we hit enter, and that just made a hole for us.
You're a wizard.
It feels like being Tony Stark. You just get to invent stuff from whole cloth. I'm also going to rename this because that's how I roll.
Oh, you can name pieces too. Okay.
Yeah, so base plate, I think was what we called it. Yeah. Try that again. There we go. All right, now we get to make a thread, which is the most fun you get to have in Fusion. click on thread.
I'm having a blast.
And then we click on that, and then you tell it you want it to be modeled, but we tell it not metric, but we'll go to normal, not metric, inch tapping threads, I think. Oh, it's mad at me for some reason. It's one of these. Just a lot of stupid options. Pipe threads? GB pipe threads? No. It's just a quarter 20, man. Nothing either. One second. Just gonna Google, because that's what you do halfway through modeling something. 60.
And so we're gonna grab the bolt from a hardware store.
Yeah.
As a part of this. Cool. It's cool that the bolt is out there in the real world, and then it's going to interface with what you're making in this digital world.
Oh, that's not working. I'll just look at all of the options until I find it. It's probably not that. Quarter 10.
That is very close.
It's not. It's not.
Is it a different class? Nope.
All right, it's obviously the wrong metric. Oh, we're gonna do all of the. Oh, there we go. Quarter 20. the first option alphabetically. All right. There you go. Once you know the thread you want and how to find it, you can just add it like that. Normal right hand, and if we zoom in, which I'm not 100% sure on how to do that without a mouse, you'll see there are threads in there, and it'll actually print that for us.
That was a guess.
Yeah. Sure.
Hey,
wait,
two fingers, not three. There you go.
There we go. Cool. So now we'll add the tube on top of that.
Cool.
And we're going to do it a slightly different way just to show a different way to do it. We're going to draw a sketch on this. So you draw a two-dimensional sketch that you can then extrude into 3D.
Okay.
And we can draw just a pair of circles. So the center, again, it's like, yo, there's the center. This just needs to be bigger than that. Let's just make it an even 7 millimeters, and that'll be big enough for a quarter 20 screw to go down through. And then we'll do another one. That is the 20 millimeters of the full thing. Mm-hmm. So this has created a separate drawing on there. And when I finish it, I can then grab just that part, hit E to extrude it, and we make it 3D.
And that drawing lives in the sketches folder.
Exactly,
Okay.
yeah. You can always go back and modify it too, which is super handy. So we wanted the total distance of this to be 80 millimeters. This was 20, so we need an additional 60.
Yes. Math.
Math. And that's our thing.
Precise.
And if you look down into it, that's how we rotate. There's a thread down at the bottom of it. So the screw should be able to go all the way down, hit the bottom, and then tighten it. And this will allow us to remove the part. Or the whole piece from the ceiling of your car. All right, so next we'll have you start by doing these nice little rollers here.
Okay.
And we can hide the base plate that we made, and you can
So they can just live on the same X.
right in the same place. Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So start by making a cylinder.
Create cylinder.
Mm-hmm. It's going to go on the bottom plane there on the right. Go that one right there.
Red is.
Or there's 3 axes. Yeah, that's the one you want.
Got it.
You basically
And
do
then
I want to
center.
draw it on this side, or that side? Yeah. And then in the center, click, and then the diameter. Let's see, what do we write over there? OD is 6 millimeters, so the outer diameter is 6.
Boop.
And then the length of it is this gap here. So it's 45 minus 12 would be 33. But we'll give it a little more room. So I think like 30.
32, I think is what you have. No,
That's the
sorry, 3.2. Never mind.
I think 30 millimeters for the length will be good for that. Yeah. And now, you've modeled a thing. Now we'll do the hole through the center of it. So again, make a cylinder. So create cylinder. And then click on the top of the one you already made. And then click on the center there.
Place center. Specify diameter is
3.2 we made it.
Oh yeah, okay. That's where that came from.
And then for the length of it, you can actually just click on the bottom. You'll have to rotate the view, which is weird. Hold shift, I think. Yeah, there you go.
Shift and 2 fingers.
Two fingers. Then click on the bottom. Go all the way around to the bottom. Keep rotating.
Oh, we don't have a mouse, and that's usually okay.
Keep going.
Oh, right, like that.
Click on the bottom. There you go. And then hit OK. And you've done it. That's our roller pieces all done.
Wow, my first 3D model. I'm so proud.
Should be. Be extremely proud. And what we'll do is we know we need 4 of these.
Yeah.
We're not going to model 4. We'll just print 4 copies.
Love it.
And then we can rename it with, there we go, roller. And then we can hide it and make the next thing.
Cool. If you show all of them, they just live on top of each other?
Yeah, so you won't be able to see the roller, but it'll be inside the other one.
Cool.
All right, let's do this rectangular box then. So we'll do a sketch for this. We'll do a drawing for that. So go to Create Sketch, which is that button up there. And click on the bottom plane. So the
bottom plane
that one right there, yeah. So we're going to draw a pair of squares. Go to Create. There's the down arrow thingy. Go to Rectangle and go to Center Rectangle. And again, click in the middle. And then when you drag it out, you give it the height and width, which we have right there. So for the outer one, I think is 45 and 45. Oh, so you hit enter before dimensioning it.
Oh,
but
oops.
we can fix it if you hit D to dimension, and then click on that line, and then click on that line, and then click over here. You can type in 45 now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to undo.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so everything you do gets stored down here. You can just undo, but you can also just go back to a previous operation and change the numbers, and it'll update it all.
Moving forward.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So we'll do that again. We'll create a center rectangle for the inner part.
Center rectangle.
Click in the middle.
Oop.
And then when you move it out, you can type them in, and if you hit tab, it'll go between the two.
Got it. Okay.
So that's 33 and 33, I believe. And we can tell that looks pretty right.
Yeah.
So hit Finish Sketch now, and we can make this 3D. So if you select this part here, the shape on the outside there, that part, and hit E, that'll extrude it.
Oh. And then we want it.
The thickness, which if you mouse over here real quick, you'll see a little house. Hit the house button, and that brings us a 3D
back
view.
to 3D. Okay.
Yeah, and then the amount I think was 15 millimeters. So you can just type in.
Or over here.
Yeah, you can type in there or over there.
Cool.
That's point. Yeah, there we go.
15.
All right. Okay.
Cool.
And that's our big old rectangle. For this one, we need a pair of holes going through it one way and a pair of holes going through the other way.
Okay.
So what we'll do is we'll... actually, can I change something real quick just because it bugs me? There's just a different way to view this. Perspective with orthopaces. Oh, thank God.
I was like, it didn't look like it was.
It doesn't look like it's in perspective. There we go.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll draw a pair of circles on one of these sides and then extrude them through both sides.
Cool.
So if you hit Create a Sketch, at the top, Create Sketch.
Oh.
Or just this button over here is Create New Sketch.
Got it.
And then select this face here. So we do have to do a
So
tiny...
it immediately goes to flat when you click. That's cool.
I'm going to do a tiny bit of math to figure out where these holes need to go. On the side of the thing, we have a 6 millimeter gap and a 6 or walls, and then our circle is 3 millimeters. So this needs to be inset at least 2 millimeters probably from here. which would be 8 millimeters. So the axle needs to be 8 millimeters from the side. And then the height isn't critical, but I think from here to here, another 2 would be good.
Okay.
So we're going to draw a circle first. So hit the center circle button there. And you can kind of put it anywhere. Just click it. And it's going to be a 3 millimeter hole for the filament we're going to use as our axle. And now we can tell that where to go.
Okay.
So hit D for dimension. And then click on this wall over here. This line. Sorry. And then click on the center of your circle. And then just drag the mouse up here and click.
Oh, and then, okay.
So now we tell it the 8 millimeters that I figured out. So if you click again, it'll ask the input, type in 8. And that's set.
Oh.
And then we'll do the same thing from
thing.
this top line.
Do I hit, or D for dimension again, or doesn't matter?
I think you're still dimensional.
Oh, okay,
So yeah,
cool.
you're good. And then drag it off to the left of it there to the side. And then type in 2.
Cool.
So let me just think for a second.
Yeah, because that
looks a little close.
from the center versus the edge.
So maybe make that
2
4. I would make it like
3.5.
3.5, sure. And that's a great thing is you can now go in and double click on that number and just change it.
Wow.
And it
This
updates
is
it
so
for you,
precise.
Yeah. And now we need a second one on the other side, but instead of drawing it again,
Yeah.
what we're going to do is just hit L for the line tool.
Do you want to change this to add 1.5 to this too for that? Since it's going from the center.
Yeah. So you can change that to 9.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
9.5.
There we go.
Okay.
And then
wait.
hit L for the line tool. And you're going to draw a line up the middle. So, yeah, there to the top. Like that. And now you still have the tool selected. And you can hit Escape to not be using the tool.
So, yeah, I'm blind right now. Got it.
Now select that line and hit X. That's just a housekeeping thing. It turns it into a construction line. It's not going to be used for geometry, but what we're going to do is mirror this circle over to the other
line.
side.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of my favorite ways to find tools in Fusion is to search for them. So if you hit S and type in mirror, it's the top one. There are 2. They're called the same thing, and I think they should change that. If you're listening, anyone, but it's the top one that you want. So select your object, the circle, and then click on mirror line over here, and then select the center line that we made. Oh, you know what? We accidentally selected that one. Hit X on the objects real quick, and then click on the circle again.
Okay.
There you
Object,
go, and then mirror line. Yeah.
Boop.
And then hit OK. Now, if you go in and change this one, that one will get updated.
Cool.
Yeah.
So it's constantly mirroring.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, so hit Finish Sketch.
I think we should save.
That's a great idea. Let's learn how to save in Fusion 360.
I'm already starting to feel very emotionally connected to this box.
It's just this little save button up here.
Okay.
Let's call the project oh boy. I wrote 3 books. I should be able to spell.
They're expertly written too. I laughed through a lot of it and learned through all of it.
Happy to hear that. There we go. Saving it. And Fusion does this great thing. It versions every save, so you can go back different versions. Also, it gives a little asterisk up there to let you know that you haven't saved in a while. Very nice feature.
I'm a compulsive Apple
Control
Xer,
S, yeah. When I used Maya a lot, that was do an operation, save. Do an operation, save.
Yeah.
Or Premiere.
Right. So it's going to know every time I've done that, it has a record. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
cool.
All right, so we're going to extrude that through the circles you made. We're going to extrude those through the body of the thing. You may have to zoom in to be able to select the shape. Pinch, I think.
Yep.
There we go.
Boop.
Yeah, select that, and then shift select the other one. And then hit E for extrude.
Is there somewhere where it lives up here? Oh, I guess I could search for it too.
Mm-hmm. Extrude. And then click on the opposite side. But
Oh,
before
all
you
the
hit
way over there.
OK,
Yes.
yeah, so rotate around and click over there.
Boop.
But before you hit OK, instead of, oh, it is new body.
Oh,
That's
do we
weird.
want a new body?
Hit OK, yeah. I don't know why it's doing that, but hit OK.
Okay.
Should be fine. I think you grabbed the wrong extrude operation. Again,
Oh.
there are like 3 of them. I don't know why. Let's just do a quick undo. And,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, so select them. And hit, it's just, yeah, E
Different
is,
extrude.
yeah. And then rotate around and click on it. There we go. Okay, so instead of cut, we're going to select that down arrow, hit new body, and hit OK.
Okay.
So we have 2 of them ready to go. We'll just rotate these 90 degrees to do the other ones.
Cool.
So how can we do this? All right, go to modify and go to combine. Yeah, there we go. So we're the target body is the thing we're keeping, the whole piece. So select the frame for the target body. And then for the tool bodies, which is now selected, are those 2 things. So select that one and then the other one.
It's interesting you find the operation and then select the things versus like select and then operate on
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Okay.
And everything in Fusion works that way. It's
Okay.
like operation based. Operation, it should be cut. So I think it's the middle one. Yep, we want to cut and then we want to keep the tools. So it's going to cut those holes, but these 2 cylinders are going to stick around so we can use them again.
Okay.
So hit OK. Now where are the 3 bodies? Let me just check something real quick. 1, 2. What is this? Oh, that's the outer one. I never named it. There we go.
There's
Firm.
still time for.
So now we're going to rotate these 2 things 90 degrees. So if you shift select them, you can select them here, but I like to select them over there.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Okay.
But that's just me.
Shift select there works too.
And then right click on them over there. I think two finger tap maybe.
Okay.
There we go. And then move/copy also includes rotate. Oh wait, hold on. We need to move the rotational point to the center. So if you rotate your view so we can see the center of the, there we go. Maybe zoom out a hair. And then click on set pivot right there. And then drag this pivot over to the middle there. Can you just click that? I think it wants to go with your mouse.
Oh, okay, cool. Oops.
Or no?
I just clicked, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just select those again and
get
move them.
those. Yeah.
I would select them in the,
Okay.
over there. And then right click on them.
Forgot about that step.
Move/copy. Click on set pivot. And then just click on the middle there. Does it not want to do that? Why would you be like this, computer?
Oh, there. Nope.
Why does it
Come on, buddy. Unless I.
What if I put some geometry there? Let me just do this real quick. Let's just put a cylinder right there. Is it going to let me use this as a pivot?
Oh, right. So then it'll just pivot around that thing.
Yeah.
And then you'll delete it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. And then we turn that off. And then we rotate. I swear that one's selected. Doesn't it look like it's selected?
Yeah, it does.
All right, so now you can select the 2 and rotate them.
Okay, 5 and 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now.
Yeah, perfect.
Move copy.
Set pivot. Click on the center of that thing there.
Cool.
Hit set pivot again. And then rotate on that axis, and you can put in, -90. Perfect. That's all we wanted to do.
Cool.
And then hit OK.
Okay.
And then do combine again, and we'll cut those holes out as well. Oh, you know what? Actually, hold on. I just realized these need to be lower.
Yeah.
So go to your move rotate there. Just right click on that arrow down there. Yeah, right click on that and hit edit feature. And we can go and move it again.
Okay.
Like I was saying, we don't have to undo. We can just go back to the thing we did. And we want to drop it down about there. -8, that looks right. I think -8 looks good.
Okay.
And then you hit OK.
Oop.
And now you can go to Modify Combine.
Oh, do I select them first? Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need anything selected. Just
Yeah. Modify.
Combine. Select the whole thing.
Box first, and
then the tool bodies. We don't have to keep the tools this time. They can go away, so you can uncheck that. Then hit OK.
Whoa!
Yeah. And then this little
Get rid of
cylinder
that
area.
thing in the middle.
And the way you do that
yeah.
is with remove.
Not delete.
Delete will mess things up. But that's it. That's the drawing. That's the thing we were working towards, and it looks like we nailed it.
Awesome. I nailed it.
You did. You did. And then we have this knife switch. And I think I'll give it a stab at that. And I'll just narrate while I'm doing it.
Was that a pun?
It was a pun. I didn't even think of that. So yeah, I'll show how that's done, and I will narrate it, and we can get it done quickly because it's got a lot of silly fiddly bits.
Really? Mm-hmm. You had to fix the typo.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
All right. So the base of this is a rectangle. We'll draw a sketch here. We'll do a center rectangle.
Your go-to is a sketch versus like having it just make a rectangle for you?
Yeah, probably just my background in drafting. I love straight lines and rulers and stuff. Let's see, 10 by 20, was it? Yeah. Cool. And then there's going to be a couple of indents on here. So we'll create another. I'm going to just stop using the mouse. Rectangle, we'll do a center rectangle, and I'm going to guess that it's about 8. Oops. I'll have to go dimension that. 4, that's... I got my dimensions wrong. Escape. It's a Mac.
Apple.
Function Z does nothing. There we go.
Command.
This is. Let's do this.
I still call it an Apple key, and people are like, "What are you talking about?" You know.
There we go. That's what I want.
Apple Z.
Center point rectangle. All right, that'll be. Let's do 10. No, it's way too big. 6 by 8. That looks fine.
This is technical sketching.
Seems like it's about right. And this is where we're going to plug in those, the 2 stand things on the knife switch. Just going to see if my eyeballing is close. That's a little closer than that. Okay, that looks pretty good. And the same thing, I'm going to mirror this because there are 2 of them. Just like before. All right, and then we can extrude this mamma jamma. We'll do both of these. Aren't going to go all the way through, so we'll extrude 10 millimeters, we were thinking? Oh yeah, that looks good. And then I can bring that sketch back and use the rectangles.
When it extrudes something, it disappears the sketch, and then you'll find it again.
It just hides it.
It automatically, okay.
We can do a 2-sided extrude. So there's going to be just a little indent where our knife parts just slot into. Probably doesn't need to be that deep. There we go. And then it looks like the top of this is maybe a little rounded. And then there's the holes through the side. But the rounding is super fun. If you do a fillet, fillets are great. Just select edges like this.
It's not fillet.
No, it's fillet. Oops. I missed click on that one too.
Wow.
There we go. Yeah, it just pretties it up a little bit. Wow. Wait till I show you chamfers. Chamfers get really exciting. We can even do these corners too.
That people will definitely be able to see in the video,
Oh,
or just sitting in my car.
This 1.5 millimeter fillet, people are gonna see that and be like, nice.
Really glad you didn't buy one.
Yeah. Just very available on Amazon. Base, I guess. I don't know what's wrong with this keyboard. It keeps making me spell things wrong.
It's definitely the keyboard.
Why is caps lock on? There we go. All right,
It's
so
a
that's
base.
Oh, and then there are these holes in the side of it there that we can do the same way we did the holes in the other thing. We just do a sketch on the side here. We'll draw one of them. I already know I'm gonna mirror it, so let's make a construction line in the middle. Zoom in. And these are like 3 millimeters wide, maybe. Maybe a tiny bit smaller than that. Wonder how many people are going to be like, wait, Bill, do you really just eyeball everything when you're making props? Like, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
You definitely wrote down a lot of numbers before this.
I did.
We have record of it.
There we go. This is like just a quick and dirty way to get tangential lines. Like that, and then I just trim everything I don't need.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just like before, I can say, oh, let's figure out where it ought to be. Oh, you son of a bitch. Moved the wrong thing. Can I fix that? No. Yeah, it doesn't want to do that. If I click on the other direction. Nah, it still doesn't want to do it. I've decided I like where that is. I'm just going to move it manually. And then mirror it. I do actually think it's great. I try and do everything like the right way. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to do it in Fusion. But it's not necessary. All I'm going to do is 3D print something and then sand the crap out of it. So I much more lean on like make it functional, make it work, compared to like the specific way you're supposed to do it.
Well, the fact that you're labeling your pieces is already impressive.
It's not, final 003.psd.
For real this time?
Absolutely for real. And that punched out those silly little holes in the bottom.
Cool.
Yeah. So that piece is pretty much done. And then we just need to model a couple more. The knifey do. And we'll use these dimensions to wrong one. To figure out like how big it has to be. I guess I can just do this. It is, what did I say, 8 by 6. So we have to design a part that'll slot down into there. It needs to be just slightly smaller than that. If you make them exactly the same size, the printed parts won't fit together. So you just have to keep that in mind. And we're going to hide that, and then we'll start a new sketch on the bottom here. And we're going to draw basically just these profiles, like pretty much the same way I've drawn them there. With a line. I'm just going to do, and I'll draw half of it and mirror it over.
Oh, right. You always just want it to be symmetrical and do half the amount of work.
Yeah, whenever I can do anything like that, we'll start with a center rectangle. And we know it needs to be just slightly less than 8 millimeters wide. So that'll be, let's say, 7.8 millimeters. And then the depth was how deep we made that hole, which I can change later. So I'm just going to guess right now. Mm-hmm. Actually, I'll go check. Finish the sketch. The depth is this amount here. 4 millimeters. Cool.
And you can restart the sketch.
Yeah, I can always go back and re-edit the sketch, which is great. So, 4. Look, I guessed correctly.
Whoa!
And then I'm just going to use the line tool to eyeball the drawing there. Click. There we go. Click. And then we don't have to redraw that. I can use the offset command and click on that line, and then I can just go like that, how thick we want the part to be. I think 2 millimeters is probably too much. Yeah. There needs to be a gap there for the thing to go in. 1.25, let's say. Or 1. Not 11. 1. There, that looks good. And then we just cap it off like that, like that.
So it becomes a shape. It like knows once you close it.
Yeah, once it's closed and it's blue on the inside, then you can like do extrudes or a number of other operations to it. And then since we have all these dimensions on here too, once it's fully drawn, you can go in and tweak it too, which is great.
Cool.
Here. And then the center line is right there. And we have the other half. That looks pretty good to me. I will, trim that and that. I also think maybe this ought to come down at, oop. No, that breaks stuff. All right, that looks great. And then we finish it, and we're going to extrude this the 4 millimeters or 6 millimeters, but just slightly less, so 5.8. Did I hit extrude? I didn't. 5.8. There we go. That's
cool.
That part.
And there's no like center material there, even though you had a mirror, whatever. Okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's full solid. Cool.
It is fully connected. You can tell because it only created one body.
Okay.
Let's do hinge. Crying out loud. I will say, keeping your stuff named in Fusion does make things, when you have 100 parts later, it makes things a lot easier.
Certainly in Photoshop, I've just got layer 1 through 100 labeled that.
All right, so the other one is very similar, but I probably want to just draw another, or you know what? I wonder if I can I just copy and paste the sketch? I've never done that. Let's try. I could edit this, but if I do, the part we made before would change.
Oh, okay. So you have a separate sketch is always tied to the thing that you drew from the sketch.
Yeah.
Cool.
So if I edit this one, will that make a difference? Let's find out. This has like this line here. We'll do another offset. 1.25. We'll nope, that was the wrong thing. We can extend, so any line you have like that, you can just extend and then
click and it'll connect it.
Oops. Connect. There we go.
Cool.
And then we can remove that. We can. I didn't copy my center line. How dare you?
How do you make it dotted again?
So you have to. It's tricky because you always have a tool selected, so you have to hit escape to cancel the tool you're on.
And you go back to just select.
Then you can select it, and then you hit X, and it makes it a construction line. Mirror that over there. Oh, I accidentally selected that. Awesome.
Cool. Is there another line living on top now, or is it just knows to delete whatever if it's directly under it? Oh yeah. Okay.
I could probably. Yeah, there was another one there. Probably wouldn't have caused a problem.
Okay.
Now, is this gonna let me just extrude this separately? 5.8. It
Yeah.
is. Nice.
Cool.
And then the arm, the knife bladey arm looking thing. Oh, you know what? We have to punch a hole through this one.
Mm-hmm.
We can do that right now. Hide that. This one I think is done. Knife landing.
It's gotta be the
It's
keyboard.
definitely the keyboard. All right, we can hide that for now, and then we'll put a circle on here. It doesn't want to find the center of that, but we know the dimension. So we can do this, and this is fun if you want to let machines do math for you. This is 5.8, so 5.8 millimeters thick, 5 by 2. And we'll put it right in the middle.
Let's go.
And then we'll bump this over a little bit. Let's say 2 millimeters that way. And that goes through the shoulder a little bit, but that should be fine. And we can just extrude it through. Let me hide the. Yeah. And then this just goes. I think I need to do 2 dimension or 2 sides. So it goes all the way through this side, all the way through that side, like that. And that is our axle that we're going to make out of filament.
Cool.
So those pieces are ready to print. I think we just need to make the knife blade, the actual handle, and that needs to span these 2 parts. Zoom out, come on. There it is. Just taking a moment to breathe. Missing a mouse, that's all.
You're as cool as unnecessary inventions right now.
That's right. And I can't believe he models this way. Why would you do that to yourself? So I guess we'll draw it in the middle here. Let me hide that. We'll start with a rectangle. Right there. All right, so it's going to be a long, thin thing. This is 35 millimeters wide, so it should probably be just a little bit less than that long. Let's say 30. Actually, it has to extend beyond that, doesn't it? So let's actually make it a little
Same length,
longer.
and then just move it further.
Yeah,
Or yeah, a little longer because the
just
handle.
a little bit longer, I think, like 40. And then 10 millimeters wide, maybe a little thinner than that, 8. Perfect. Well, I bet it's rounded on one side. In fact, we could round these as well. That'll be cool.
Wow.
So we can do a fillet. We can do fillets in 3D and 2D. So you just go, I want to fillet over here. I want to fillet over here. I want them to be about like that. In fact, since we can do 4. Yeah, make it perfectly round. And then that actually
cool.
gives us the center of the axle, which will do a little bigger than 3, so like 3.2 millimeters for the filament to be our axle. And then there's like probably a handle. The image, I actually don't see the handle on the end of it.
I mean, I can pull them up on Amazon and show you a handle and then have them sent to the house.
Yeah. I think we can just sort of fudge it here.
Yeah,
and
okay,
fine. It'll look great. It's probably just a slightly bigger. I'm just going to draw a little thing here. Like this, like that, like that. And that'll be the handle. Oops. Look, X, mirror. Okay. Nope, I hit cancel. Why did I do that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then this just gets extruded. And so it's got to be the gap that's between the parts that we already have. Mm-hmm. I'm going to just put 2 millimeters for now, but we can actually inspect between here and here and see that we have 1.7 millimeters. So I'll make it just a little bit thinner.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, and I can go to the extrude I did before and edit it. And where it said 7, or it said 2, we'll go 1.6, a little bit thinner, so I can squeeze in there.
Cool.
And that's our handle.
Whoa.
And we can even sharpen the edge a little bit to cut the red vine better if we wanted to. I don't think it'll be necessary. I think that is pretty much the parts after I name this one. Almost made it.
Knife handle!
Handle! Double checking my drawing, but I think that's it. I think that is all of the parts.
Wow.
And all like pretty basic geometry. A lot of just lines and like extruding.
Well, it seemed complex when you started, but now that you've broken it down, that's really cool.
And that's how I start like most 3D modeling projects, is with trying to break it into primitive shapes and forms and seeing how you can plug all those together. I end up making like a ton of cylinders. Like if you're making a lightsaber, it's just a bunch of cylinders stacked on top of one another. In fact, in my Fusion 360 course, available at punishprops.com, we have an example project where I show you how to model Luke's lightsaber from Return of the Jedi.